Hey y'all, I'm Coco.
I'm Mac, and welcome to
Coco Mac Convos. So, y'all know I'm always thinking my brain, I have like 87 tabs open all the time. It's fun. And not really. And in this particular case, I think about our finances. I'm a Capricorn stellium with a Cap moon. Baby, I'm always thinking about money, right? And I started thinking about my my former marriage and how that worked when it came to money. And it didn't, right? Now you would say that I lived in a middle class home, income and everything like that. But honestly, I had never felt more broke in my life. And I don't even like saying the B word, right? And so I'm thinking, reflecting on that and then thinking about the way that we work. And like, we do whatever we want, and we're not at the income where I was. We're not really that far off, but why such a difference? And so we started talking about it and having the conversation about why in this relationship our finances work much better than previously. And it's like we're not lacking any bills, still got kids, still have all these other things. What's the difference?
Well, obviously, I wasn't a part of your last marriage.
That.
So, I can't speak to what the finances were. I can only speak to my own experiences leading up to this. And for me growing up, there was a slight frugality that came with just being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
But that allowed me to make decisions with what money was left after responsibilities had been taken care of.
Right.
And so that's kind of a policy that I live with to this day. Is, I might have to tuck my little coins away for a bit, mm-hmm. But once I know that we've done what we need to do when we need to do it, this is what we have to play with.
Right.
I have never been rich.
Right.
We're not going to talk about my dad.
Yet.
You get out the house all of a sudden, he turned up with some money, but...
Isn't that how parents go? When you're growing up, ain't no McDonald's money, but all of a sudden...
and don't be in the comments talking about it's because I left the house, because he still got 2 kids there.
All right, Dad. He on your neck. Honestly, even when I was at my lowest when it comes to my mental health, even before my spiritual journey, I've always been about my coin. Like, that has never been not a thing. Now, I wasn't as proficient about being about my coin as I am now. But then, I was always the person where it's like, I may not be able to, order clothes this month, or I might not be able to go out on a trip, but I got a roof over my head and my bills are paid. My kids can eat, you know what I'm saying? And because my former partner and I did not communicate well, there was just a serious lack of cohesiveness when it came to our finances. And I realized, as far as me holding myself accountable, because we didn't have that communication, I took it as, well, let me make sure I'm the one who's taking care of everything. And if he throws money in, it's a bonus. Even though he made twice the amount of money that I made, right? But because there was no cohesion with us, there was no cohesion with the finances. So kind of like, if you see the bill, pay the bill. Okay, whatever. Like, there was and always a question of like, okay, so where's our money? I know what bills need to be paid. I know what food is being bought. But like, where's our money? And I realized that's the stark difference when there's no communication. And we all know that money is like the number one reason why a lot of relationships, marriages fail. Child, it was a list with mine. But anyway, one thing that we did early in our relationship is talk about our financial origin. And those of you who follow me from Coco, Kitten, Bruja know I'm all about the financial origin, understanding where your relationship with money started. And I think that built a very strong foundation for us financially to understand how we work.
So, for those of you who have been following our channel for any amount of time, I know the topic always comes back to talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. And yes, talk about it. But also, I mean, in this particular instance, it presented vast differences in the way that we look at money. And it's still kind of scary sometimes.
He's more scared than I am. Because the way that I was raised was, you know, absolutely make sure your responsibilities are met. But after that, you know, turn up, get cute. You know, if you see some shoes and they cute and they on sale, go ahead and get them, girl, because you just never know. Whereas,
so for me, since, you know, reaching adulthood at the prime age of like 19, it's always been hold on to your money until everything's taken care of, and then do something fun for yourself, which, you know, sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. But the point is, I have never been the type to meticulously plan out where my money was going. And this one will sit down with me every week. Like, all right, it's time to write down.
I'm a budget queen.
We got $42 going to this. We got $12.72
I am
going
a budget
to that.
queen. Now, I leave room for incidentals. But I will budget. What bill coming in? Cool. Let me go ahead and put it.
And that's just, it's not my way. That kind of detailing is high-key stressful for me. But it works. So, you know, there's a point where you have to, you know, kind of meet somewhere in the middle as far as how you handle day-to-day situations.
Yeah. And I only send it to him once a month now, not every week.
Thank you. But, you know, if you have that open communication, you might find a method that works better for you than what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Because Lord knows all of us got some kind of mental health issue that stops us from doing things as effectively as we should.
Yeah.
Pardon. Okay. So, I have completely lost track of where I was going with this point.
ADHD.
ADHD.
But the thing about it, so I am the type of person where it's like, I have a need. I know exactly how to get that need met. I'm just going to go do it. I don't do a whole lot of research in things, especially if it's an area that I know fairly well. Whereas Max, sometimes he wants to, you know, look at everything available and make a decision from there. So Mac is also a minimalist, which I am not. So we needed to update his wardrobe for work. And me, baby, I'm gonna go in this store and I'm gonna go get that, and then I'm gonna go in this store and I'm gonna go and get that. And Mac was not used to that. And I had to recognize where his limits were and where his boundaries were as my partner. And we sat down in the middle of the mall and we sat down and we talked about it. How are you feeling? Do you want to continue? Yes or no? Are you comfortable with what we've done? In his eyes, spending money on certain things just didn't equate to being a necessity. It was more of a want. And so we kind of had to meet in the middle. I had to explain to him how I see things. He explained how he saw things because, again, we have completely different financial origins. And we were able to compromise, meet in the middle. And then me personally, I recognized that, you know, this shopping trip was a little bit too much for the initial go. And, you know, we just kind of chilled from there. But it was a learning experience for me. I can't speak to Mac. I feel like it was also a learning experience for you too. But you know, let me know if otherwise. But I know I definitely learned to respect your limits more and your boundaries.
I know the way that I deal with money. I don't think I quite understood the anxiety that I carried about money, or, you know, where exactly it came from. So that was a very intense situation for me, just because, like, no, what are you doing? Like, I don't need that many shirts. One shirt is we can get one shirt and come back next month, and we can get another shirt. And
you hear this? One shirt and then come back next month. We worked it out though. We saw the compromise, you know, and I know to talk to him beforehand, like, how are you feeling about getting this or getting that? I even self-regulate now because, you know, I wanted a Beyonce blanket, but I knew if I asked him if I could spend $140 on a blanket, I was going to get that face. So I didn't bother, and I didn't buy the blanket. I'm learning, you know?
Let me go ahead and just put this out there too. I got a lot to say in the comment section today. Don't be in my comments talking about some girl get that blanket.
I'm not going to get the blanket. I know. Again, boundaries. I understand where we are as a unit and also what our goals are. Like, we've gotten dry erase boards. We have goals for our savings. We have goals for all of the things that we have coming down the pipeline. Yeah, as much as I want it, it's not worth it to hinder our goals.
And I'm looking at no less than 5 blankets as we sit here recording this video. So, yeah.
I like blankets.
Anyway, so, you know what? I feel like we have made significant progress.
We have.
And, you know, I have found some things that I need to work on as well. So, you know, like I said, talk about
it. Honestly, because I wasn't able to really see my accountability in previous relationships, and like just when I'm living alone, the type of things that, you know, could have helped me even more. Now I will say, on a spiritual note, our lives are recession proof, baby. We don't speak nothing like that over our household. We always have the resources we need despite what's going on in the world. And I know whatever money leaves this house always comes back threefold, and like proof of power, baby. You know what I'm saying? So even when we live that lifestyle of, you know, our house is recession proof, money flows easily and freely in this house, there are still the basic understanding of how to use the energy of money and not using it recklessly in order to make sure it stays in your household. And as we walk our spiritual journey, that's always a portion of what we do to kind of keep ourselves in check. Like, yeah, you know, we can book this cruise because we ain't worried about how we gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not spending $140 on a Beyonce blanket because we got goals and things we gotta do.
Press the button.
What? I'm talking about my growth. I'm not getting the Beyonce blanket.
Throw your ass over that button.
Bye, y'all.